But I do have some bad news. And I thought I would just get it out up front right away. So here goes. You see, life is not fair. Right? I mean, it's really not fair. You can be that careful driver and still get in a car accident. You can eat healthy and exercise and still get sick. But you don't look surprised, right? From the time that we're little, our parents have been trying to teach us that life is simply not fair. I think of my 8-year-old daughter. When it's time to go to bed, she'll say something like, "That's not fair. Why do you and Daddy get to stay up and I have to go to bed?" And of course, as a parent, I say, well, it's my job to teach you that life is not fair. So get to bed. Isn't it interesting then? Why is it that we still seem to expect life to be fair? I mean, otherwise, why would we get so upset when unfair things happen, right? When we get rear-ended, when we get laid off. So why wouldn't we just say, oh, you know what, that's part of life. But instead, we drive ourselves crazy, right? Getting angry and frustrated. Why do we do that to ourselves? Well, interestingly, it's because we're wired that way. Maybe you've noticed, but our brains love to focus on, to dwell on, to anticipate all of the bad stuff that can and does happen to us. Right? You ever notice that? I sure do that. I still anticipate all the bad stuff. This is not our fault. Interestingly, this is actually important. It's been an important way for our brains to be wired just for our survival. If we go back a couple thousand years ago, when our life expectancy was a wee bit shorter, it was really important that we noticed the danger, right? So we could take action. When we saw that saber-toothed tiger, we had to go, whoa, danger, I need to take some action here, I need to know what to do. Or what about that poisonous plant? We needed to notice and remember, I better not touch that or eat it because, oh, poor Joe, what a mess that was. Ooh. So what do you think that does to our views on life? To our views on our job, our relationships, just the world in general? It's not pretty. And I have good news. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, right? The good news is that studies and research have shown that we don't have to be victims to our negative brains. We can actually take control and actually train our minds and physically rewire our brains to focus more and notice the positive, to notice the good stuff. And when we do that, it creates a life that is more fulfilling, more full of happiness and joy, a much higher quality of life. And we get added benefits too. Science has shown that when we are in more positive emotions, we are actually more energetic, we're more productive, we're more creative, we're more resilient to life's ups and downs, and we're actually healthier. Okay, one more little test here. I'm going to show you a string of words. What do you see here? How many of you see happiness is nowhere? How many of you saw happiness is now here? Oh, I love this crowd, a bunch of positive people, yay. But isn't that interesting? What is your brain looking for first, and what do you see? So one of the strategies that I want to talk about is looking for the positive in our day. This is because, again, studies have shown that we can purposely take the time to look back at our day and say, what were some good things that happened? And that helps create these new neural connections, these new habits of how our brain functions, so we actually start noticing the benches and the car. In fact, I've been doing this with my daughter, who's 8, for almost 2 years now. And every night before we go to bed, we sit down and we share 3 to 5 good things that happened. And these are simple, right? Easy little things. For her, it could be that she had macaroni and cheese for lunch. And for me, it could be that, she's finally getting to bed on time. Have you ever been driving in your car with the radio on and suddenly your favorite song comes on and you crank it up and you're singing along, right? How are you feeling? Don't you feel good? Music is so powerful. And with today's technology, we have the ability to listen to almost any music at our fingertips all the time. What are some other positive moments, little things that you could do in your day that could just give you that boost of positive emotion, make you feel good? Anybody have any ideas? Just shout them out. Exercise, thank you. That's a big one. That's been shown to be a huge boost to our emotional well-being. Taking that moment to just be still and be present. Laughing more. Excellent, yeah. You must have read my list. I have more coming up, and that's one of them. Thank you. Excellent, yes. Getting outside, huge. What a wonderful audience. Thank you. Smiles are contagious, right? But here's what I think is really interesting. Professor Richie Davidson at the University of Madison and others have shown and mapped out different parts of our brains using technology like functional MRI, and they know what part lights up when we're happy. So if you smile, a fake sort of corny-looking smile, nothing happens. But if you smile and crinkle those little muscles on the corner of your eyes, guess what? The part of your brain associated with happiness lights up. So the next time you need a little boost, just try smiling. Make sure those muscles get crinkled up there and see if you don't feel happier. Or telling someone what you appreciate about them. It's easy for us to vent to others about what annoys us about other people, right? Don't we do enough of that? But if we take some moment and think about what do we appreciate about somebody, could be saying, Rob, your laugh, I appreciate your laugh so much. It always makes me feel good. I just love to hear your laugh. Thank you. Okay, here's one of my favorites right here. Savoring. When we do notice something positive, when we do take that moment to enjoy that song that we love, the idea is to savor it. Just enjoy it for a few extra moments. Take it in. Whether it's a sunset, whether it's looking at your kids who are finally sleeping. I have a dog, Rusty. He's about a 25-pound dog, so he's kind of small. And every time I come home, it doesn't matter if it's the first time that day or the 4th time that day, he's so excited to see me. His tail is wagging, right? He runs over and puts his paws up on the van, and you know what? I savor that now. I have made a purposeful intention of giving him both hands, scrubbing his ears, and soaking up that unconditional love. Good for me? You think he likes it? Oh, yeah. But right now, all it is information. It's like reading a book on how to drive a car. You don't go anywhere. You actually have to take this information and do something with it, right? Practice, apply it, experiment with it. And when you actually practice, when you get in the car and you start applying what you've learned, then you can go somewhere. Then you have real change. So I really encourage you, don't just let this be information. Apply it in your life and let it be transformation. It doesn't get easier every day. It's more like this, right? There are some days where everything goes wrong. You get rear-ended, you lose your cell phone, you miss that appointment, you have this pounding headache, and you have to say, you know what? I'm not giving up. This is just today, and tomorrow will be better. So when you expect setbacks, when you practice, you can actually, again, not be this victim to your negative brain. You can create this more fulfilling life. So I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes here, and that is that life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Thank you.